Got it. And done. All righty. All righty, y'all. Peace and greetings to y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwestern Maxim. How are you? Guys, welcome to our AstroCivics Sunday on a Saturday, right? We're gonna knock this out a little early to practically almost a day, so to speak, before. Alrighty, so we're going to go in on the epilogue pertaining to chapters 2 through 19, and then we're going to go through chapter 19 within our Holy Koran Devotional Countdown. Alrighty, so we're going to enjoy that, and quite a few Sundays ago, we were at we started with chapter 48. Now we're at the epilogue, right, for chapters 2 through 19, and we are looking at chapter 19 today also, because we're still going in countdown fashion. However, before we get into that and have him go in on our invocation in, I am here with our magnificent and beloved brother, in whom we well please, and he is
Islam. Peace and love, Pazia Moor, Payaya Moor. That's my French, as they would say. Pay more, pardon me, pay ye more. My French. I told you I was gonna get to working on my greeting, so yeah, pay ye more.
You're hilarious, man.
Do that. Pay ye more. So yep, y'all know. And if y'all don't know, if y'all ain't already saying GBIC shine, and y'all can just tag in with the other one. What was that, bro? What was that,
Braveheart. That's always fun, right? So without further ado, guys, let's just go right into our invocation. And Brother Sean is going to lead us in our invocation. And if ye are not familiar with that, our invocation in is termed the Moorish American prayer. All right. And we're going to extend all 5 appendages on our left hand, the index and middle on the right, with our feet on a 45-degree angle, just like how Prophet Noble Drew Ali is, as he's handsomely standing here, due guard in his Moor Sharif Fez and a Baj set. We're going to have our hands again, 5 on the left, 2 on the right, as such. However, the feet are going to be exactly like how his are on 45 there. And we're going to repeat after Brother Sean, either aloud or in our hearts, as he goes over our invocation in terms of Moorish American prayer. Islam.
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 Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen. Amen.
Indeed, indeed. We're going to go to the first letter to be read in every meeting. As you guys see, we are here in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Administrative Functions, on pages 48 and 49. And we're going to go to the first letter to be read in every meeting here on pages 84 and 85, pertaining to the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Administrative Functions. Following is a letter, pardon me, written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928, in Al-Gomani. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Administrative Functions, Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting, dear brother Islam, I am glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement now by the same side of our people, same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds, the ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause. Noble Drew Ali. And now we're going to our Moorish literature excerpt from the Moorish Guide newspaper. On page 12, handsomely standing Dugard in his Moorish Sharif Spez Anaba is Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And on page 13, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom we're well pleased, Brother Sean Ali Mel, Islam.
Islam. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim. Governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your car is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways, by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right, so we're coming here right now to the Holy Quran for, pardon me, I'm doing two things at once. But Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopted as its corporate name. So that's the civic side. And there's a reason out there, for some reason, people will not mention the civic side as if that was a change from Moorish Holy Temple of Science to Moorish Science Temple of America. Like it was not a change. That is not the correct thinking. It was an adoption of the corporate name in order to do religious corporate activity by Religious Corporation Act affidavit. But the civic side still exists. Just when people let it go, that doesn't mean it no longer exists. It actually means they remove themselves from the office that they think they hold, whether it's Grand Sheik, Chairman. They actually remove themselves because they did not keep up with being in harmony with what Prophet Noble Drew Ali actually provides us. So again, this is something where, like in the first letter to be read in every meeting, is showing these, various and diverse ways that people are trying to disqualify Prophet Noble Drew Ali and take charge of the situation. All right, so we came off of chapter 20 last Sunday. So for this Sunday, for our premiere, right? Even though we're going live now, but this is just being done early for tomorrow, right? Yeah, I know, right? So epilogue for chapters 2 through 19, right? So this is what y'all need to really comprehend, right? Because in the Helios Bibliotech, the anthropomorphic tales of the actual metaphysical manifestations within one's consciousness pertaining to, in not just pertaining to, but also tied in with one's endocrine system. The anthropomorphic character, the I am identity, but it was anthropomorphized as anthropomorphized, I'll say that, as Jesus, right? And some, the people, the commoners that aren't initiated in the degrees pertaining to higher lessons don't get what we get, which is Yahshua, right? Some people say Yehoshua, some people say Yahshua. It is what it is, right? However, this is pertaining to the consciousness and coming out of certain things. And the thing is, there's just been really horrible propagandizing pertaining to the anthropomorphic tales pertaining to your consciousness, your metaphysics pertaining to your consciousness tied in with your endocrine system. They have been blown out of proportion. They have been turned into a bang a tambourine, sing a song kind of dogma belief system that's supposed to happen every, I guess, Sunday 3 times a day, where a collection plate gets tossed around for a building fund and the building never gets funded for anything, actually. So what's actually happening is, and that's not being mean, we need to really put things in a perspective. The book has been mispresented to you. So in this book called, or termed, the Helios Bibliotech, which is ultimately, not only your metaphysical book, it's also a book pertaining to astrology also, which is tied in with your metaphysics, really all one. And once you really get into properly using the will and not just, having this broken up thing of positive, negative, and neutral, just having it all together so it can be a, workable thing. Because positive, negative, and neutral works together. That's why you're able to have what is called electricity. That's something that's helpful when contained and helping to power a load. It's not like, oh, let's just be positive and not be negative. It's like, no one wants to be really either just one of anything. You want to have a triune harmony so that there can be a perfection network. The evil happens when you break it up due to misusing your will, not knowing how to properly manifest with the oneness power. So with that being said, and moving forward, we're going to read the epilogue and then we're going to go into chapter 19. So in the Helios Bibliotech, you only get to see or hear about that I am identity termed Jesus from age 12, and then you don't hear from him again until he's 30. So there's 18 years missing pertaining to his anthropomorphic life. So where did those 18 years of this anthropomorphic Jesus go? Well, Brother Sean, we yield the floor to you, and we're all ears.
Excellent. All right. Epilogue for chapters 2 through 19. We got Yeshua ibn Maryam, son.
Yes, Yeshua ibn Maryam. Whereas instead of me saying Yeshua ibn Yosef, right? Like saying this, because Ibn is son of. So instead of saying son of Joseph, I'm saying son of Mary. So Yeshua ibn Maryam, right? The I am identity that is the creative thought out of love. I am identity, Jesus. Creative thought, son. Mary is love. Right? But to put it in the sense of, what's coming out of the heart, heart's ruled by the son. And at the bottom is Ananiah ibn Elizabeth pertaining to John. So these are things you can research. So there's things I want to point out. You guys got homework. So you guys can start looking these things up instead of us keep showing you out of the same books that we've already given you access to. And then we're going to say, if you don't find something in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, then type certain things into Google, and right after you type it, type origin and meaning, and then see what you come up with, and allow ye higher mind to guide ye appropriately in seeing why even these things have come across in my studies. All right. So these are things that are according to my studies thus far. All righty. I yield to you, beloved brother Islam. But yes, Yahshua ibn Maryam.
These events occurred before he was 30 years of age, and the events after he had risen from the dead. He appeared back to India, Europe, and Africa in the land of Egypt, and made himself known into the world. These events are the 18 years which are absent in your holy Bible, quote unquote.
Whoa. Oh, whoa. That bars. Read that sentence again.
These events are the 18 years or Chiron cycle, which are absent in your holy Bible.
North Node.
Oh, it's North Node. Okay.
Yeah.
These events are the 18 years or the nodal cycle, which are absent in your holy Bible.
Islam. Yeah. So where is Jesus between 12 and 30? In chapters 2 through 19 in the Holy Quran, or Holy Koran, as some people out there say. Go ahead. I yield, bro.
All right. The events of John the Baptist. John taught by the Egyptian sage the meaning of baptism and how to baptize himself. And after he was baptized, he was taken at the age of 12 years into Africa, the land of Egypt, and there he remained in Egyptian schools 18 years. And there he learned his duty as forerunner of Jesus.
Looky. Astro Cookie. And that's Ananiah ibn Elizabeth. So you look up John and look up Elizabeth and look up son, right? For Ibn, S-O-N, right? In the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore, you'll get some fruit out of that pertaining to the consciousness connected with your endocrine system. Period. That's what this is and what it's supposed to have been used for. And there was at one time, the songs that were sung pertaining to these manifestations in one's consciousness tied to their endocrine system were songs that helped to further facilitate the augmentation pertaining to this consciousness tied to the endocrine system. But now they're beautifully sung begging songs, played on organs and pianos and tambourines banging. And people thinking they're catching some type of Holy Ghost, and they're not. They're not. They're not initiated. They're using arrogance. With imaginary friend system. I got an imaginary friend and I have a relationship with them. I just got to look to the sky and talk. You're talking to yourself and your higher consciousness. You're just misplacing it by thinking you're associating with it outside of yourself, which is going west, which is being without. And in Moorish Latin, which is termed Spanish, the word without is sin, spelled S-I-N. So yeah, you holy people, putting your tithes and offerings in the collection plate and going to church, you're the ones that are mostly in sin. The most, because you're in without. You're without. You keep externalizing these inward energies, these inner energies, these east energies, because you're neglecting going within. Your divinity is within. And the reason why you can't find it because you don't go within. No apologies. After love comes truth. You can handle it, you can. If you can't, you need to ask yourself, why do you love a lie? Chapter 19. We yelled to you, beloved brother. We already know. Brother Sean's going to read, and I'm going to be on my, yeah, I'm serious, member.
Serious, member.
Ad-libbing. right? So let's enjoy ourselves. And I yield the floor to our beloved brother, whom we're well pleased, Brother Sean Aleem Al Islam.
Probably between that and the Braveheart, man, it's like my favorite introductions, man.
You're hilarious, man. Islam.
All right, chapter 19. Jesus appears, fully materialized, to the eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana in India, to the Magian priest in Persia. The three wise men speak in praise of the personality of the Nazarene.
Look at that. Looky, Astro Cookie. Homework, you're going to look up the Metaphysical Bible, look for the word Jesus, look up the word East. If you can find sages there. If not, look up sages, origin and meaning. You can also look for the etymology also. Why not? Ravana or Ravana, look that up. I know Ravi is king, right? So Ravana kind of made me think that even though it says prince, it was kind of making me think it was still probably a woman. Because at one point in time, it was looked at that the prince was still a feminine energy in that position, just to be completely honest with you. India, see what that is in metaphysics. That even is something tied to your consciousness. You'll find a lot of so-called places that you think exist outside of you actually pertains to the consciousness and pertains to the correspondence principle, the second of the 7 Hermetic principles. So he also materialized to the Magian priests in Persia, right? Look at that. Persia. Where is that? Well, it's near the constellation Perseus, right? For those of you that are familiar with our presentation on Veritas, right? Go on Seven Hill Star YouTube and click on the playlist and find that 14 video playlist termed Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Veritas, where we really take you guys into seeing fully. You can stop the dogma belief system stuff and being, you know, grown beings. You're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and keep believing in imaginary friends. Stop turning the higher consciousness into some imaginary friend relationship. You sound like a 7-year-old. All righty. 3 wise minds. Pituitary, hypothalamus, pineal. Those are the 3 wise men. Speak in praise of the personality pertaining to the Nazarene. You might want to look up Nazarene. You can look up wise men too in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. And remember, whatever you can't find in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore, just simply Google what they are. Type Nazarene, origin and meaning. You'll start to see a lot of things uncover, and all you're going to see is yourself, and realize that you've been outwardly worshiping yourself when you're supposed to have been going within and bringing forth that divinity. I yield, bro. Islam.
All right, Ravana, Prince of India, gave a feast. His place in Orissa was a place where men of thought from all the farther east, looks like, where went to meet.
Yeah, well, we're wanting to meet. Like, that's another word. We're looking forward to it.
Got you. All right, like so from all the farther east, where want to meet. Got you.
So Orissa, Or is light. U-R is power, right? But Or is light. Isa, right? It's kind of going back to that whole Yeshua energy, right? Or Isa, the light pertaining to the I am. So the I am identity is light, right? So again, you'll see that this really ties to ye selves, ye consciousness, tied in with ye endocrine system, period. Right? And then East is within, you know, check things out metaphysically. So what you'll begin to do is start looking at like chapters 2 through 19 as completely an anthropomorphic tale pertaining to ye consciousness tied to your endocrine system. These things are all happening within you. How many of you are really going to allow yourselves to be initiated into these wisdoms pertaining to your ancient foremothers and forefathers' mindset so that your days may be long upon the earth land? I yield, beloved brother Islam.
All right, Rabbana was the prince with whom the child Jesus went to India with when 12 years old.
Continue.
The feast was made in honor of the wise men of the East.
The wise minds pertaining to within. Pertaining to the within. Man, I'm trying to tell you, when you guys know these things, what the metaphysical is, these things, it's so beautiful. It really makes you love yourself even more, because you get to really see what's really actually happening. But you got to allow yourself to get out of Egypt. Egypt is the material mindset. Egypt was only to be used to prepare you to be able to accept what's happening in Israel. All right? Israel, some people will say, which is spiritual consciousness. Egypt is material consciousness that prepared you to be able to take on spiritual consciousness. Because you had to be able to experience the material and be able to not be tied to it. So it's almost like, are you going to be a slave to material, or are you going to go for that? And then what you can do with everything that you've learned in the material world, when you go into, in material consciousness, when you go into spiritual consciousness, you'll be able to actually make aphorisms and other wise quips and pithy statements to help be able to regurgitate what's seemingly abstract and be able to give parable, if needed, to those whose minds are confounded by ye wisdom. With that, I yield the floor.
Among the guests were Mingste, Vidyapati, and Lamas.
Look those appellations up. I yield.
The wise men sat about a table, talking of the needs of India and the world.
Of the needs of India and the world. Yeah, go and see what India is, man. Remember, for me, India, before it was India, it was Hindustan. Before Hindustan, it was named after the river that's near that place that was called Sindh. Sindh is where they get the word Hindus from, right? So look at that, right? So rivers deal with thought. You'll see. Like I told you, you hear me say this is pertaining to consciousness tied in with the endocrine system. It'll begin to make sense, because that'll be the mindset. You'll go in looking for this stuff, like, oh, this is what he means by we're all born masters and born perfect. Yeah, and you're being taught and reminded the truth and the divine truth pertaining to ye mastery and perfection. I yield.
The door into the banquet hall was in the east. A vacant chair was at the table to the east. They got some bars in there.
Jesus Christ. Yo, this just gets better and better every line, man. It's just telling you how it's within, and there's a vacant chair at the table to the within. Like, yo, like, do you guys see what's happening here? Go ahead, bro. I yield, man.
Okay. And as the wise men talked, a stranger entered, unannounced, and raising up his hands and in benediction said, "All hail."
Like Prophet Noble Drew Ali in that black and white picture y'all usually see in the videos that we do, and then it comes in, you got it mixed with the color, and you got the hands held in benediction. Angel Michael, the lover's card. Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey, man. for giving us that degree, man, because that makes so much sense when Prophet Noble Drew Ali is at that table with his checkered turban on. You know what I'm saying? With his hands in benediction. That's how I see it. Every time I read that, that's how I see it. It's the Angel Michael. It's the Lover's card. Number 6 in the major arcana. I yield, bro.
A halo rested on his head, and lights, unlike the light of the sun, filled all the room.
That's because he was wise, had that wisdom. Straight up. Add that. Had on a fez. Halo on his head. All right, I yield.
The wise men rose and bowed their heads and said, "All hail." And Jesus sat down in the vacant chair. And then the wise men knew it was a Jewish prophet who had come.
Look at that. The I am identity sat in the vacant chair at the table that was to the east. And then the wise minds knew it was the jewel thought pertaining to all balanced law, pertaining to the zodiac manifested in flesh. I yield, man.
And Jesus said, "Behold, for I am risen from the dead. Look at my hands, my feet, my side."
Wow. Again, a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, because they crucified him. And I mean, man, that's one way of looking at it. But metaphysically, you go into the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary and read up on the crucifixion, read up on what it is to have the nails, the hands nailed, feet nailed, piercing in the side. You're going to be like, oh, snap. Then why didn't they just tell us like this? That this was pertaining to our consciousness tied to our endocrine system when we make these types of decisions. It's going to unfold in a way where you're going to be like, yo, for real, that's what it was the whole time. This is it. And you're welcome for being pulled out of the shallow grave. You're welcome. Did I mention you're welcome? Okay, I yield, bro.
The Roman soldiers pierced my hands and feet with nails, and then one pierced my heart. They put me in the tomb. And then I wrestled with the conqueror of men. I conquered death. I stamped upon him and arose.
Look at that. Look at that. It's funny because it sounds imaginary. However, I already know you guys listen to or you can read the book, the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. And for me, it was easy to see like, this is what happens when people go into that yogic state pertaining to mind and they overcome death and really get into their immortality. However, it's due to the fact that they've allowed their minds to go somewhere where most people don't take their minds. I yield.
All right, brought immortality to light and painted on the walls of time a rainbow for the sons of men. And what I did, all men shall do.
Wow. Go back to that mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers so that your days may be long upon the earth land. Yep. I yield, bro. Islam.
All right, this gospel of the resurrection of the dead is not confined to Jew and Greek. It is the heritage of every man of every time and clime. And I am here a demonstrator of the power of man.
Yeesh. Like, this is when you allow the I am identity to properly use the will and the oneness power, you can will conquering what most people look at as something one's never come back, quote unquote, death. However, death physically happens due to death mentally happening first. I yield, Islam.
Then he arose and pressed the hand of every man and of the royal host, and said, Behold, I am not myth made of the fleeting winds, for I am flesh and bone and brawn, but I can cross the borderland at will.
My man can go into the material world and the spiritual world at any time he wants to.
Talk about Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus take the wheel. I yield.
Right, and then they talked together there a long time. Then Jesus said, pardon me, I go my way, but you shall go to all the world and teach the gospel of the omnipotence of man, the power of truth, the resurrection of the dead.
That's right. I yield.
He who believes this gospel of the Son of Man shall never die. The dead shall live again.
Ye are your ancient foremothers and forefathers return. Because you're here to remember that, hey, you're actually immortal if you allow your minds to go back to the mindset pertaining to the ancient foremothers. And there are some immortals that still are amongst us, ascended masters. They are still amongst us. And they don't look like the 7, 8, 9 to 1,000 years old that they actually are. However, they are amongst us. Sometimes right before your face. You run into people and you'll be like, oh, it was so cool. That was 9 times out of 10, I was probably an ascended master. You run into him before. Some of y'all know, hey man, I ran into this guy, man. He was there one moment. I turned around, it was gone, man. There was no corner to turn, nothing. It was just like he was gone. I was an ascended master. Remember, can cross the borderland at will. I yield.
Then Jesus disappeared, but he had sown the seed. The words of life were spoken in Orissa, and all of India heard.
Sure did. They sure did hear. Spoken in the light of the I am. Go ahead, I yield.
The Magian priests were in the silence in Persepolis and Caspar, and the Magian or Magian masters, who were first to greet the child of promise in their shepherd's home in Bethlehem, were with the priests.
Bethlehem. See, for me, Bethlehem is Baltimore. Honestly, it really is. But again, this is anthropomorphism. Honestly. So this is also dealing with, first and foremost, the consciousness tied to the endocrine system. It just makes me really think of it. House of bread, Bethlehem. Bethlehem is the house pertaining to the bread. I yield.
And Jesus came and sat with them. A crown of light was on his head.
Look at that, man. Jesus. Had that fez on. Shout it. I yield.
And when the silence ended, Caspar said, A master from the royal council of Silent Brotherhood is here. Let us give praise.
This book right here, Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. Yuppity duppity. One of my favorites. It's my jam, baby. Mm-hmm. Silent Brotherhood of the East. I mean, somebody went within and became a master from the Royal Council pertaining to the Silent Brotherhood of the East. We're all born masters, born perfect. Are you going to be taught and reminded and go within? Are you going to go east? East is within. Ayo, beloved brother Islam.
And Jesus said, oh, pardon me, no. And all the priests and masters stood.
And all priests. Mm-hmm.
And said, oh, hell, what message from the Royal Council do you bring? And Jesus and Jesus said, my brothers, the Silent Brotherhood, peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Look at that, man. Peace on earth, which is peace in heart. Good what? What's that W word?
Oh, goodwill.
Uh-huh. So I said properly use ye will. Goodwill to minds. Hey, yo, when you really got the metaphysics to this, yo, it is like, oh my God, it's so simple. It keeps these simple basic principles you keep seeing repeated in a lot, even these higher ascendant master books pertaining to the Holy Corbeth and Hittianism. It's like, yo, it's still there, bro. Like, that's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us, man. He brought us back to the consciousness pertaining to Hittianism and being able to really be the masterful perfections that we are by getting back into the practice of using our will appropriately. I yield.
Mm-hmm. The problem of the age has been solved. A son of man risen from the dead has shown that human flesh can be transformed into flesh divine.
Bada bingo, bada fuko. I yield, bro. Islam.
Before the eyes of men, this flesh in which I come to you was changed with the speed of light from human flesh. And so I am the message that I bring to you.
I am. Jesus is the I am identity. Mm-hmm. So I am the message that I bring. Hey, that is so beautiful, G. Like, yo, my goodness, yo. Like, that's real bravery right there, G, to really go within and be that which most people will try to say, oh, that like they're like, oh my God, it's you. That's for people that can see that no, because these are obviously people that go within themselves. But they just haven't attained to the level that Yeshua has. The I am identity. And like I told you, there are those of us who are, we're all amongst each other, right? We're this silent brotherhood pertaining to the East. Some of us are ascended masters. Don't even have to say that as far as like, oh, I'm an ascended master. We're not going to say it. I'm just saying we're all born masters and born perfect. But those that go within to be taught and reminded ascend further. If you can really hear what I'm saying here, okay, I yield, man. I yield. I trust. I really feel like I'm repeating myself in just different ways and different angles. No, go ahead. I yield, man.
To you I come, the first of all the race to be transmuted to the image of Allah.
Wow. The image pertaining to all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac. That's evolving one's chart. Oh, that is chart evolution, bro. I yield. Islam.
What I have done, all men will do, and what I am, all men shall
all
be.
Men will. He said all men can at first. Now he said will. Go ahead. I yield, bro. Jesus Christ.
But Jesus said no more. In one short breath, he told the story of his mission to the sons of men, and then he disappeared. The Magi said, some time ago, we read this promise, now fulfilled, upon the dial plate of heaven.
They're referring to that zodiac. Your Moor's zodiac constitution, the number 0 through 9, and geometry. And they said, man, because remember, we just read Friday about, prophecy that we can see as long as we go to refer to the zodiac, man. Like the dial plate of heaven. Heaven is the higher mindset that's utilizing the astrology in harmony with the metaphysics to be able to see things in a cyclical fashion instead of seeing time as something linear when it's really cyclical. It's happening all at once. However, can you see it? You might call it in the future, but it's not actually in the future. It's happening because you're reading it. It's just full materialization and manifestation that may appear to happen at a time after you seeing it when you're seeing it. So that would be called a prediction or premonition, some would say, or prophesying the prophecy. I yield, bro. Islam.
And then we saw this man who has just demonstrated to us the power of man to raise from carnal flesh and blood to flesh of Allah, a babe in Bethlehem.
A babe in the house of bread. Wow. Yep. Out of the mouths of babes. I yield.
And after many years, he came and sat with us in these same groves. He told the story of his human life, of trials, sore temptations, buffeting, and woes. He pressed along the thorny way of life till he had risen and overthrown the strongest foes of Allah and man. And he is now the only master of the human race whose flesh has been transmuted into flesh divine.
This stuff
He
is
is
real,
the God
y'all.
man. Ooh.
You good, bro. I yield.
Indeed. He is the God man of today, but everyone of earth shall overcome and be like him, a son of Allah.
Right. So it's not that you're supposed to sit here, bang a tambourine, sing songs with the anthropomorphic name Jesus, which is the I am identity. So I said Mary had really let you guys know, and he's like, it's the God in me. Hey, like they kind of told you the answer in a hook. I mean, really gave it up. But I guess some people just thought it was a song on the radio and people doing gospel music trying to sound cool. But at the end of the day, guys, this is about seeing what's going on within yourselves pertaining to the own consciousness tied to your endocrine system. This is not a show and tell thing. This is serious. And there's a reason why the universe ordained Seven Hill Star Astrology Firm. Doesn't matter what we're called. We come up with many different things and call things many different things because we're having fun with being those Jesuses. With being the I am identities that love ourselves enough to be truthful to ourselves, because first comes love, then comes truth. So if you love yourself, then truth yourself, peace yourself, freedom yourself, justice yourself. So you can no longer place a burden on yourself, trying to impress other people when you're wasting your time in Egypt when you should have been well along in Israel. In other words, wasting your time pertaining to material consciousness and public opinion when all you should have been focusing on at this point in time by now is spiritual consciousness, so that you can go from flesh and transmute into flesh divine. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions? Going once. Let's see. Let's get this going. Brother Sean, any wisdom you want to add there, broski doski?
Man, that was just
Any?
Just fire, because once again, due to the conditioning, training, people haven't really been, shown, the other way to the conditioning. And when they are presented with the other way, the deeper way, they, cognitive dissonance. They're quick to eject, or it's like, oh, whatever, but not really been able to just step back and see from outside of their personality and ego what it really is, but which some people ain't meant to really get this in this lifetime. I mean, just be real with that. So it's like, is one really ready to step out of the local mindset and step into the universal? With these things, it's talked about every day. People can say whatever, but when you really look at what religion truly is, man, it's just you cannot see it, yo. And it's and all these, stories are just told in different ways, different people for you to get it. But they ain't say, hey, those things that you're looking outside of yourself, you have to find within. And that's really like the major point is, being able to look within to look at oneself. But it's always been some external worship of things. But if y'all want to donate to the building fund, man, go ahead and electronically send that. We need to get a new building. But anyway, I'm just joking. But yeah, folks really have to see things different from what they've been taught, and they're really going to see what spirituality really is, and things that folks have been trying to teach people to teach themselves for so long, but it's been rejected because it's not popular or thing to do. Watch. Saturn went direct today. Well, he's about to be an interesting 2 to 2.5 years. Just watch. Telling.
Word to Big Bird. Yeah. And really taking the lessons that we've learned and now being able to be these lessons unapologetically. You know what I mean? When it comes to, Saturn being direct, so we don't have to return back to these lessons and revisit them because we weren't able to put into action the wisdoms that we've learned, and being the manifested masters, the manifested perfection that we manifested being already. Again, we're here to just be taught and reminded pertaining to said perfection. However, some of us are here from mothers who brought us forth to be the champions that we already learned to be within their womb already, period. It's nothing to be jealous over. It's nothing to be envious of. Again,
you might want to check your moon.
Flat out, all these things that I've done, all men can do. All these things I have done, all men will do. And what I am, all minds shall be. And that's a very John way of looking at it, right? And John always referred to himself the disciple whom Jesus loved.
Mm-hmm.
What most people miss from that is not John bragging on him being a favorite. It's him actually pointing out the fact that he recognizes that it is better for him to recognize the I am identity's love for grace, because John means grace. So if grace is the disciple whom Jesus, I am identity, loves, grace is unmerited favor. That's something that's automatic, the favor that automatically happens, which again speaks to the faculty pertaining to proper use, pertaining to one's will. Talking about being a Will Smith, right? Because a smith is a master, right? Like a blacksmith, a locksmith, a Will Smith. That's why we're the Fresh Prince. Or Ravana. Okay, anyway. I'm just saying, man, it just always flows so easily. JLV says, greetings, Brother Hasan and Sean, everyone. Brother Dirk says, greetings, everyone. Indeed.
Peace,
and Brother Dirk also says, no more burden, with multiple exclamation points. Indeed, no need to burden ourselves. All we need to do is go within and really manifest that which we are, because what will actually happen, the universe will conspire in our favor for us to attract things to ourselves that's needed. We just need to get into a mode of knowing. Sometimes when we know and we're using our will and practicing using our will appropriately, sometimes people will try to call it being arrogant or coming off as a know-it-all. And that's those people that call those things that are those who misuse their will. Those are the people who are separating negative, positive, and neutral. However, those of us that are using our will appropriate, we know how to put all three together and be the born masters we're destined to be. Be the born perfection, or the manifested master, manifest perfection that we manifested to be. Period. We're all born masters. We all manifested being masters. We all manifested being perfect. We're just being taught and reminded pertaining to our mastery and perfection. And some of us have ascended and are ascended masters in your face. It's all these things I've done, all men will do. What I am, all men shall be. Stuff isn't hard. There's no arrogance to be suspected either. All it is, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, got it. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twist ice. See you all on Intuition Monday when we go in on a new moon in Scorpio, right? New moon in Scorpio. And again, this is for that AstroCivics Sunday, right? For the 5th October 2023. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for our AstroCivics Sunday, number 55, Holy Koran Devotional Countdown for Chapter 19. What's up, bro?
I'm laughing. Don't trip, bro, if I call you tomorrow. I'm like, bro, oh, no, we already did it. My bad. No.
Yeah, it's done. Right. I'm about to go fix a few things anyway. As far as the description and stuff anyway. You know what I mean? And that's about it there. So with that being said, no more questions, comments, and/or suggestions going thrice. This is where I and Brother Sean Ali Mel say on behalf of Seven Hill Star, again, I, Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, Brother Sean Ali Mel, Brother Terrell Tamari Bey, Brother Corey Bey, and Brother R. Muwabo Bey. It's where we say to ye all, we love ye all. Namaste. 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 What's up?
You gonna take us out?
Oh, yes. Let's do our invocation out. Way to go, bro. Indeed. Guys, we're going to do our invocation out, right? Just super flowing, right? Definitely going to do our invocation out and close this thing out how we opened it. Extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index in the middle on the right. We're going to go within, right? That's facing east. And you can repeat after me either aloud or in your heart as you stand on the 45. Islam. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen. Indeed. Again, guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Brother Derek says gratitude, gratitude indeed, beloved brother. Rest and recharge well when you go to rest and recharge. We'll see you all Monday. All righty. And share this with you, loved ones. Come back. You want to, hold on, man. On Sunday, I'm usually watching the AstroCivics Sunday. Just run this back. All righty. And just take it like we're doing it all over again. Right. But yeah, we need to have the Sunday to ourselves. I got some loved ones I got to kick it with. All right. So with that, we love you all. Rest and recharge well. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace and love.